Vandeham Shri Guru Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsam.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome back to the 35th episode of Pariprashna. So we're getting to the fag end of finishing Canto 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam. So there are 3 more chapters that are left, chapters 8, 9 and 10. So in this particular episode, we will try and discuss chapters 8 and 9. So chapter 8 talks about the questions by King Parikshit, and then chapter 9 talks about the answers given by Sukadeva Goswami by way of citing the Lord who is speaking to Lord Brahma. So we will get started with chapter 8. So we will continue our inquiry and we will try to get some enlightenment and insightful answers by inquiring from His Holiness Bhakti Padma Pracharak Swami Maharaj. So Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
So Maharaj, in this chapter 8, the first 6 verses, Maharaj Parikshit, first of all, he is glorifying hearing Krishna Katha even before he actually dives into the topic. So why is this mood of reverence towards the importance of the process of hearing Shravanam, which is foundational to the Bhagavatam tradition? Repeatedly we see how Shravanam is being glorified.
Whenever any chapter, any prasanga starts, it is the nature of the inquirer to describe his eagerness to hear about Krishna. So that eagerness to hear about Krishna becomes the impetus for the speaker to speak about Krishna.
Okay.
So when you are eager for something, you will not just say once, you will say 100 times without being conscious of it. Like for example, the child wants an ice cream from the mother. Then the child goes and says, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. He goes on telling that. He will not say, I want ice cream, and then keep quiet. He just goes on doing that. And he does it unconsciously. It is not that he is consciously telling that. So in the same way here also, so when you express eagerness, it is repeated. And it is repeated in a different way many times. So that is the nature of expression, the eagerness. And that eagerness is a qualification for hearing Krishna Katha. And eagerness is also impetus for the speaker to speak Krishna Katha in a more relatable way.
So Maharaj, right now, in today's current context, there is like podcast and so many apps. There is no dearth for spiritual content. You just go on YouTube and hit any topic. There are so many videos that will come up. So, but however, in Bhagavatam, we see it is not just what you hear, how you hear and who you hear from. So how can we be cautious as sadhakas that we hear in a way that it leads to progress in bhakti and not just information overload?
Yeah, information leads to transformation when we repeatedly hear. Now, there's nothing wrong in having a choice of the speaker. But when you have a choice of speaker, then you have to hear again and again from the speaker. It is not that, okay, I just hear here, there. It's like a sparrow goes here, goes here, goes here. No, not like that. So that is how one has to be dedicated to 1 or 2 speakers, and then you hear from again and again from them. So when you hear again and again, then the information will become transformation into realization. That's why repeated hearing is very important. Of course, the best thing is to sit in front of a conscious person and hear, or one person in front of the speaker on live. But the podcast and all these things are Kali Yuga tools, which we are using in Krishna service. Even in that also, one has to repeatedly hear. Repeated hearing is most important. When you repeatedly hear things, then that means you are experiencing newness in the subject matter, and that is really Krishna. Krishna is Navayavana, and Krishna Katha is also Navayavana. Now, I still remember when I was talking about reading. There were times when I read purport of Srila Prabhupada, without going to the next shloka, I would read the purport of Prabhupada maybe 15 times, 20 times, and again go to the next shloka, and then, okay, well, let us go to the previous shloka, read the purport again and again. So the repetition is important. That is called abhyasa. It is not just Shravan, it is Shravan again and again. So the vastness is not important. It is how depth, how repeatedly you are doing, how much you are doing service that is important. So that is called Shravana Sanskar. It is not just the information. It is a repetition of the information and how much deeply you are engrossed with that information which you got. That gives you transformation to realization.
Okay. In the next few shlokas here, like he's saying here, Pravishtah karnarandhrena swanam bhavasaroruham dhunoti shamalam krishnaha salilasya yathasharat. The sound incarnation of Lord Krishna, the Supreme Soul, that is Srimad Bhagavatam, enters into the heart of a self-realized devotee, sits on the lotus flower of his loving relationship, and thus cleanses the dust of material association, such as lust, anger, and hankering. Thus it acts like autumnal rains upon pools of muddy water. So, Maharaj, how do we develop this kind of conviction? It's so inspiring, Parikshit Maharaj, the level of faith he has, the level of conviction he has on the process of Shravanam. How can we also follow in his footsteps and develop this kind of faith?
Again, same thing. Here, what Parikshit Maharaj is speaking. It is all hearing from a person, and then he transfers his consciousness onto you. So when you're hearing, what is actually, you're not just hearing, you're actually getting the consciousness of the person into you. The person is speaking, he is installing his consciousness into you. It is actually a transfer of consciousness rather than just transfer of some information. So you have some information in your mobile, this smartphone, and it transfers information to the laptop. It's not like that. Because neither the mobile is conscious, neither the laptop is conscious. Because it is a transaction between two conscious people. So what is being transferred is a transfer of consciousness. When there is a transfer of consciousness, how it happens? By repeated hearing. So it is Bhagavad Gita. Okay, now you read. Why you read again? Because it is conscious. But newspaper, do you read again? No, it's information.
Very nice.
Now, for example, when two people are in love with each other, they go on talking. What they talk, they repeated. So I was just, of course, unnecessary things have to be heard because if you're traveling, somebody is sitting and talking to somebody on phone. So there was one, I was traveling in a cab, and the driver was talking and talking and talking. So 1 hour is talking. What was he talking? Because though I did not want to hear, but the goes isn't it? She is repeatedly talking the same thing. Kaise ho? Theek hai? At least 100 times he spoke the same thing. I was just wondering, why is he talking? How are you fine nights? So it's actually not information because he's talking to somebody who is beloved to, maybe his wife or somebody, his brother or somebody. I don't know whom was he talking to. But he was really engrossed in asking the same thing, hearing the same thing, because there was a transaction of love and affection between two conscious entities. So in the same way here also, like you hear this podcast or you read the shloka again and again. This shloka maybe I heard more than spoken about it more than 100 times. But now when you ask a question regarding that, so it seems to be new for me. So that experience of newness in every which Parikshit Maharaj is experiencing, that is transferred. How you get it? By associating with Parikshit Maharaj. You may say, how will I associate Parikshit Maharaj? Yes, you can associate. by reading this beautiful word. Pravishtaha karanarandrena swanam bhava saroruham dhunoti shamalam krishnaha dhunoti sa amalam krishnaha. So what does Krishna do? Krishna enters the heart through Krishna Katha. When you hear, it is actually not just getting information. It is a Krishna entering into the heart of the devotee, and he dunoti samalam Krishna salilasya yatha sarat. So somebody say, oh, water is always dirty in the pond. No, in Sharad Rutu, water is not dirty. It's very, very clean. Now, if you have a jar of water and some mud is there, the mud settles. Then you shake the jar, again it becomes muddy. So that is the nature of jnana and yoga. Whereas bhakti, totally all the dirt is totally removed. All the dirt is removed because Krishna is vidhunoti surasatam. So you have a connection between this verse and Shrunvatam Sakata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, Idantasto Vibhadrani, Vidunoti, Krishna in the heart, he cleans away the dirt in the heart of a devotee. So here also it is like that. So you get connections and more connections. So it becomes a new world for all of you. How you are, the question is how you get this thing. It is by associating with Parikshit Maharaj. You get the bhava which is there in the heart of Parikshit Maharaj to you.
Beautiful, very well, very nicely said. So, Maharaj, next major section of this chapter, from Shloka 7 to 23, Maharaj Parikshit is asking a long list of questions. He's asking about how did the jiva, which is the spirit soul, getting into the material body. He's talking about Brahma appearing from the navel of the Lord. He's asking, is the form of the Lord similar to that of the material body of Brahma, or is it different? He's talking about Karanodakshaya Vishnu. He's talking about Kala, Karma, so many things going on here. So, is there a certain unifying theme in the kind of questions he is asking, or is it like different categories?
These questions which Parikshit Maharaj is asking, we tried to find out how many questions did he asked. Every time it land up in a different figure because he is asking sometimes two questions in one line and one question in two lines like that. So, but definitely these questions became the basis of the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, which is going to come in the next chapter.
Right.
And also it becomes the basis of the entire third canto. Because Parikshit Maharaj, when he asked this question, Sukadeva Goswami said that most of the questions you are asked is going to be answered by Maitreya to Vidura. In this way, the third and the fourth canto, even some aspects of the fifth canto, they are all based on, they're all actually answers to the questions asked by Parikshit Maharaj in this particular chapter. But there are certain questions about the distinction between the living entity and the Supreme Lord, which is the first thing, and the distinction in the body and the soul. This he answers, and then specifically the distinction between the Supreme Lord and the living entity, that he answers in the Chatushloki Bhagavatam.
Okay.
So 2 or 3 questions asked by Parikshit Maharaj are answered by Sukadeva Goswami himself, and rest of the things, especially about Kala and all these things, he answers by Vidura Maitreya Samvad.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Maharaj, just glancing through these questions, these are not easy questions, at least when we just look at them. So, they are like metaphysical, philosophical questions. So, how can a listener of today really relate to questions like this, like about soul's origin, the nature of illusion, the creation of the universe? What is the practical urgency? Nobody wakes up in the morning thinking that, oh, I can't wait to hear about creation, the soul's origin, and all that. So, what is the practical urgency of such topics to current day people?
Yeah, because they find it is more urgent for me to have some sense enjoyment, and for that you require some money. So that is more urgent. Now, because of that urgency which they feel for sense enjoyment, they forget that death can come anytime. Yesterday you had this plane crash. And even many people died in the plane crash. Not only those who are in the plane, those who are where the plane crashed, the hospitals, doctors. So now, when you become conscious of that death, you feel this urgency. And you rouse yourself in Bhagavatam. Unfortunately, we are so much feeling the urgency to find out the ways and means of sense enjoyment, but we don't find the urgency that death can come anytime. So that is why the Bhagavatam starts with death, the discussion about death. One thing is definite, is death. We say as sure as death. But we don't bother about it. That is why only those who are very conscious of death, they feel the urgency of the study of Bhagavatam. Those who are not conscious of death, they find sense enjoyment is urgency. Like, for example, somebody he is having pressure in the stomach, and he feels urgency to pass stool. At that time, if you talk about why don't you eat a rasgulla, then what he says? No, I am not interested. Yeah. So it's like that. Bhagavatam is like the sweet rasgulla, and you have the urgency of sense enjoyment. You become out straight, isn't it? So that's the situation. And what is that first medicine which makes you understand that sense enjoyment is actually not the urgency? It is death. The knowledge or an idea, not an idea, it's being aware that death can come any time. Then you feel the urgency to study Bhagavatam. That's the thing. That's how Parikshit Maharaj, he was self-realized. When he came to know death is coming, immediately he went and heard Bhagavatam.
What a striking analogy, very visual. So Maharaj, I really like in this, you were going to say something, Maharaj?
No.
So here in the 24th verse, I'm so impressed with how Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring from Sukadeva Goswami. Sarvametaccha bhagavan pruchato menu purvashah tattvatorhasi udahartum prapannaya mahamune. O great sage, representative of the Lord, kindly satisfy my inquisitiveness in all that I have inquired from you and all that I may not have inquired from you from the very beginning of my questionings. Since I am a soul surrendered unto you, please impart full knowledge in this connection. So, how nicely such humility and eagerness to hear. He's saying, kindly satisfy everything that I have asked from you and all that I may not have inquired from you also. So, if you can say something about this level of humility and eagerness.
Yeah, this shloka, what Parikshit Maharaj is saying, the same old Parikshit Maharaj carried all the way till the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. Etat anyacha shravyam me. He asked 6 questions in the first chapter of the 10th canto of Bhagavatam about Krishna. And then still Parikshit Maharaj, when he asked this question, Sukadeva did not speak. Then Parikshit Maharaj thought that maybe these questions may not be so inspiring. So anything else, if I am not asked also, please speak about it. So it is like a hungry person. When somebody asks him, what would you like to eat? He would say anything and everything. Then say, no, please tell what you like to eat. And he's not only hungry, he's gluttonous also. So he would tell all the men, I want this, I want this, I want this. And I'm getting mad. How can I list? You just everything. Whatever you made, whatever you not made also, that also give me. So it's all hunger. When you're hungry, no menu is you will be satisfied. No menu will satisfy you actually. You want everything in the menu. Like hungry person who is sitting on the table, he gives a menu card. So he just sees the menu card. Yeah. Okay, what और क्या है बताओ? See, the menu card is there. I one devotee, I took him to go with us. Then he was so happy with the entire thing. He said, और क्या बताओ? So he was so much confused. That is why seeing all this, he became so confused. जो भी है सब लेके आओ. At the end, जो भी है सब लेके आओ. That's the nature of a person who is greedy, becomes confused. Who is hungry, becomes confused. That's what he is greedy and hungry for hearing about Krishna. So when you feel that I've asked certain things, that means if he answers them in a very shortcut, then how is it going to fulfill my desire to hear? So ask more. Other things also. Go on telling. That's the thing. An expression of one's greed and hunger to hear about Krishna.
So when I read this line, since I am a soul surrendered unto you, please impart full knowledge in this connection. I was reminded of Parikshit Maharaj's grandfather, Arjuna, in 2.7 of Bhagavad Gita. He said something very similar. Yachreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. He also said, please instruct me, I am a soul surrendered unto you. So Maharaj, what is the difference between listening with surrender and without surrender?
Listening itself is surrender, but percentage is the difference. At least a person is hearing. That itself is a first step of surrender. So now when he hears with sincerity, and he starts developing the taste, then the surrender increases. So it is not that whether he surrendered or not surrendered. It is a percentage of surrender. It goes on increasing over a period of time. Like first, when somebody comes to the temple to hear or some satsang or even this podcast, they are not surrendered, but they are started the process of surrender in the sense that they know that this something is there in it. They have some faith. So faith and surrender, they are actually one and the same.
Okay.
Faith is surrender, surrender is faith. These two are non-different from each other. That is what Madhurya Kadambani Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur talks about it. In this way, we should know that surrender and faith are one and the same. So when somebody starts hearing, why he started hearing? Because he inquired. Why inquired? Because there is a certain amount of faith. That is why he has inquired. Why anyway? Why he did not inquire from somebody else or in some other place? It is because of he doesn't have faith in that. So the more he inquires, the more he hears, that increases his surrender. And when that surrender, when the faith and surrender becomes 100%, that is called prema. That's called prema. So instead of saying that whether he surrendered or not, that is not the question. How can the person increase his faith and surrender for a period of time? So even an atheistic person sometimes may come just to argue. That is also a kind of faith. One person was arguing me in one train. So there was one pious person also sitting next to him. He was very disturbed. Why is a sadhu? Why are you disturbing him? He was his friend only. Then I told that other person. He said that you are not inquiring, at least he's inquiring. Then he was shocked. I am supporting you and you are supporting my friend who is arguing with you. Then I told him, wait. And after the entire train journey, it was in Vande Bharat Express, some of the trains. So then that person who was arguing with me, he told, देखो हरे कृष्ण मंदिर जाएंगे हम लोग, ये पास हम कुछ तो है. Then other person told, क्या जरूरत है, इनके चक्कर में मत पड़ो. Just see.
Yeah.
He was pious and trying to support me. But after that, he was trying to argue with me. And after the entire train journey, he had some faith. And these people are very good. And this person is discouraging his faith. So externally, you find that he is very pious and this person is arguing, is atheistic and all. But it is not. If there is some amount of faith in him, that is why he's arguing with me. Why he's asking some questions to me. He may disagree with it, but still he's doing that. So don't judge a person surrenders from the external. If he's having some faith that answers are going to come from you, there is a chance that he'll be surrendered more.
Interesting. So, Maharaj, the next one I wanted to ask was Shloka number 26. Name savaparayanti brahman anashanadami pibatochuta piyusham tadvakya abdhi vinisritam. O learned Brahmana, because of my drinking the nectar of the message of the infallible personality of Godhead, which is flowing down from the ocean of your speeches, I do not feel any sort of exhaustion due to my fasting. First of all, I really like how poetic he is speaking. And the next thing, Maharaj, what is the nature of this bhakti that it helps us transcend the bodily needs? Here, Parikshit Maharaj is telling, I don't feel any exhaustion due to my fasting. Like Prabhupada, he used to sleep barely about 2 hours. Raghunath Das Goswami, I heard he drank only about like 1/3 of a donna of buttermilk every third day or something like that. So, how are they able to go beyond these bodily needs?
It is not an artificial thing. It is by the nature of Krishna Katha. Now, the same bhava which Parikshit Maharaj is speaking here, he says, Name Shvashaha Parayanti Brahman Annasnadapi. He says that I am not troubled by thirst and hunger. The same thing he expresses in a different way in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. He says, Naisadi Dussahakshunman Tektodami Bhadayet. Tekta Udakam Abhibhadayet. Even though I given up water and food, neither hunger and thirst is troubling me. Tekta Udakam Abhibhadayet. Why? Pibantam Tumukam Bhodam Putam Harikata Vratam. Because I am drinking Harikata from you. So it is a stage where you attain the bhava, where you have no idea of what's happening to your body. So when you attain the bhava bhakti stage, that is definitely going to happen.
Okay.
But for now, as a sadhaka, we are supposed to follow yukta ahar viharasya, yukta chestasya karma, supna bodhasya yogi bhavati dukkaha. So this you have to follow. That is, you follow a regulated life. Parikshit Maharaj had attained that level. And that's why it is not affecting him. So that's the stage, Parikshit Maharaj.
So now in answer to that, Suta Goswami is saying that first of all, Sukadeva Goswami is very pleased with the questions, the mood of Maharaj Parikshit. And also here in the 28th verse, he's saying, Praha Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Sammitam Brahmane Bhagavat Proktam Brahma Kalpa Upagate. He began to reply to the inquiries of Maharaja Parikshit by saying that the signs of the personality of Godhead was spoken first by the Lord himself to Brahma when he was first born. Srimad Bhagavatam is the supplementary Vedic literature and it is just in pursuance of the Vedas. So, Maharaj, throughout Bhagavatam, we see it is a meta conversation. There are several layers of conversation going on. So, on the outer context, it is Shaunakadi Rishis inquiring from Suta Goswami, and the next layer is Parikshit Maharaj is inquiring from Shukadeva Goswami. And in answering to that, there is like the Brahma Narada Samvada. Now the Lord is speaking to Brahma. Then some places it even goes to like 6, 7 layers deeper. So, for the person who is reading or hearing Bhagavatam, how necessary is it to keep up with these layers of conversation, like conversation within conversation within conversation, or is it okay, just okay, this shloka, this context, this much I understand, it's fine?
So you have to start somewhere, isn't it? but it's not a proper attitude, it's fine. Means
Okay.
it's okay. That attitude should not be there. You have to start somewhere. So you start, and as you start, when you get the taste, then you'll go deeper. Then you'll analyze more, analyze more, analyze more. Not only in the conversation, the story form, or the chronology of the conversation, but you go deeper into the verse also. So you have to start somewhere. To start somewhere, just go on reading. And then you will find interest. Then you try to analyze things. When you try to get deeper into things, when you inquire, when you have some confusion. So it is not that if somebody thinks, no, it's okay, it's fine, that means he doesn't have taste. Like somebody sitting for the food, and then you serve him some idli and chutney, 2 idlis and chutney. Then he asks, oh, take more? No, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. But it doesn't mean, it means that he has some disease. He is not able to relish because of his disease, because it's so tasty. Then still you are saying, no, it's okay. No, it's fine means that whatever I got, it's okay. I don't want any more. That means a lack of greed, and lack of greed is actually disease, the spiritual disease. Lack of greed is the only disease. Like lack of hunger is a disease of your body. You may eat something, but if you don't have hunger, then you're having disease. One person told me that once was serving prasadam. He says, prasadam, I gave more to him. He says that I wish that I had more hunger. So even if you don't have hungry, at least you should have the desire to hunger, desire for that hunger. Like once one devotee told Srila Prabhupada, you told when you chant, you said that once chanting should be like a boy, the baby's cry for the mother. So I'm not able to feel that cry for the like a baby has for the mother when you chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, just chanting. Then Srila Prabhupada said, cry that you are not able to cry.
Wow.
Have the hunger for not for having hunger. Have the hunger for not having, for having that hunger. So that has to be developed. Even though there's no hunger, at least have that hunger. But if you say, oh, it's fine, I'm fine, everything is okay, this enough, like when I was in the initial days of Krishna consciousness, I still not joined full time as a monk. I was reading Bhagavad Gita, chanting the verses, chanting Hare Krishna, practically the whole day. It was there. So one of my aunt, she came and told me, she took the Bhagavad Gita from my hand, snatched it, and then she told, no, how the spiritual life should be, it should be like achar. It should be like a pickle. Too much is also not good. Too little is also not good. It should be this much. Then it adds taste. Too much is not good. So you have been reading Bhagavad Gita for 3 hours. We are all here. You're not talking to us. What is this? I did not say, Lord, not talk to you. Come, we'll all talk about Bhagavad Gita. Then no, it's not possible. You talk to us. Okay. She took the Bhagavad Gita from my hands. I told, I'm so happy that you took the Bhagavad Gita from my hands and you read it. Then I don't want to read. I said, I don't want to read. Then you listen. You don't want to listen. So in this way, sometimes these materialistic people, they give very interesting examples.
Right.
Then I was wondering what should I reply. Somehow Krishna inspired. I said that Bhagavad Gita has sweet also, has achar also, has rice also, dahi also, idli also, everything is there in this. So it is you who just want to eat achar and other things. I am eating everything together. So everything is very proportionate here. So that's how I replied, and of course, it went on.
She didn't know who she was dealing with. So Maharaj, now moving on to the next chapter, that is chapter 9, answers by citing the Lord's version. So in the first three shlokas, we see that Sukadeva Goswami is replying to the very first question Maharaj Parikshit asked, that is, how does a spirit soul get a material body? And in this context, he's talking about two things. He is giving a very interesting analogy of dreaming. And then the second thing, this aham mama, this kind of misidentification with the body. So if you can please enlighten us on this answer given by Shukadeva Goswami.
So first question asked by Parikshit Maharaj is about the body's relationship with the jiva, my relationship with the body.
Okay.
So answering this question, Sukadeva Goswami says, the relationship of the jiva, the atma, my relationship with the body and the senses, it is beginningless.
Okay.
We just cannot know how long it is, when it happened. But we can know that this relationship is because of the inconceivable energy of the Lord, because the soul is spiritual, and the body, the mind and senses, they are material. How this body, mind and senses of the Prakriti has, in the modes of nature, had overpowered the spirit.
Okay.
And the only thing is, only explanation is because of avidya, that is because of ignorance. And what is that ignorance? That ignorance is forgetfulness of Krishna, which manifests in two forms. Aham mama. Aham means I am this body. Mama means a body-related things to be mine. I and mine. So behind this I and mine is forgetfulness of Krishna. What is forgetfulness of Krishna? I am servant of Krishna, and Krishna is my Lord. When we forget these two things, then what do you think? That I am the Lord, and everything in this world is for my enjoyment. So you substitute, you become God, or you think that I am God. So this is how the jiva's conditioning is explained in just 2 verses.
So now Maharaj setting the prelude to the conversation that is going to come about between the Lord and Brahma. So here we see that Lord Brahma, the first spiritual master, supreme in the universe, could not trace out the source of his lotus seed. And while thinking of creating the material world, he could not understand the proper direction for such creative work, nor could he find out the process for such creation. So the next shloka 6. While thus engaged in thinking in the water, Brahmaji heard twice from nearby 2 syllables joined together. One of the syllables was taken from the 16th and the other from the 21st of the Sparsha alphabets, and both joined to become the wealth of the renounced order of life. And then when he heard the sound, he tried to find the speaker, searching on all sides. But when he was unable to find anyone besides himself, he thought it wise to sit down on his lotus seat firmly and give his attention to the execution of penance as he was instructed. So Maharaj, what's happening here is, so Lord Brahma was created from the lotus stem, from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu's navel, and he's not able to figure out what he is supposed to do, how he's supposed to create. And then he hears this syllable tapa, and then he sits down for austerity, and he performs austerity for 1000 celestial years. So a few things related to this, Maharaj. How can we also depend on the Supreme Lord's direction, just like Brahma felt helpless and he also depended on the Lord? And the importance of austerity in the way of getting divine revelation. So a few things, if you can touch upon these.
So the question is about the distinction between the Supreme Lord and the living entity. That is the question. So now the second question is answered by realization which Brahma had.
Okay.
Now, in that realization which Brahma had, by hearing Bhagavatam directly from Krishna, so here Sukadeva Goswami speaks to Parikshit Maharaj about the story of Brahma's realization at the beginning of creation. So now, while talking about how Brahma had realization of Krishna, So here, Sukadeva Goswami, he says that Brahma received 4 verses, which are known as Chatushloki Bhagavatam.
Okay.
How did he receive? Because of his performance of tapasya, tapa. When Brahma was created, he was totally confused. He was not able to understand where is the source of the lotus flower. He went down and he came up, he was totally confused. Then he could hear 2 words, ta and pa. That is the 16th and the 21st of the alphabets in Sanskrit. Kakha, Gagha. This way you have the 16, and then 16 ta, and 21st is pa. Tavarga and pavarga. So when he heard, at that time the language had not been created. There's no language. Now, how did Brahma come to know the meaning of the word tapa? Because the sound which came, tapa, it was not a language, it is only a sound. But that sound was at the level of para. So a little bit technical, there are 4 levels of sound. One is para, pashanti, madhyama, vaikari. So vaikari is the lowest, like that is what is the conversation what we have. It's called language. Then there is a madhyama, and there is pashyanti, and there is para. Of course, we are not going to talk elaborately about these 4 levels of sound. Para is transcendental, where the sound reveals the knowledge.
Okay.
It is not that the sound has a meaning and that meaning is understood. No. The very hearing of the sound itself gives realization. It is not exactly the same, but now there's a big bomb blast or some big blast. You just heard the blast and you have fear. Now tell me, what was the language of the blast? Which dictionary talks about it? So the sound gave you some realization. Though the sound has no language. So para is something like that. Not exactly, but to give you some idea. Where certain sounds, without you knowing the meaning of it, you have an understanding of it. That is called para. So Brahma, he started doing tapasya. That went on for 1,000 years. Then, being pleased by the tapasya, which is the wealth of all the self-realized souls, the Lord appeared in front of him. So tapa, ta is actually mangala vachaka. It is mangala. It is auspicious. The very word ta itself is auspicious. And you don't require any mangala acharan if you just use the word tapa. So Brahma, he just did tapasya. And what is the meaning of tapasya? Tapaswadhyaya nritam. To meditate on the scriptures. And now, tapa, which was spoken by the Lord, that is scripture. He was meditating what it is, what this sound is. And the sound revealed everything. So, Lord showed Brahma everything. Swalokam vipadeta sanklesha, which is beyond all this material world. Brahma was shown by the Supreme Lord about all the Vaikuntha planets. Spiritual world was shown to him. In this way, the first activity which Brahma did after creation is tapasya, setting a precedence that our life is meant for that. We are born for that. Tapo divyam putrakayana sattam shuddhed brahmasotyam. And tapasya doesn't mean that Nirjala Ekadashi, I have done Nirjala, I have done Nirjala. I am doing Nirjala, I am doing Nirjala. And tomorrow morning, 6:36, what I'm going to have? You're contemplating on all these things? No. Contemplating on the scriptures, that is tapasya.
Oh.
Tapasya means to contemplate on the scriptures. When you contemplate on the scriptures, then you get different meanings of the scriptures, different realizations of the scriptures. That's called tapasya.
Very nice. So, Maharaj, why does the Lord choose to show Brahma the spiritual world, that is Vaikuntha, before actually speaking to him?
To show that this Vaikuntha is beyond all material world. So the sound what you heard is not material, it is spiritual. And Brahma was confused. He thought that everything is material. To show that there is a spiritual world on which this material world is existing. So to remove his confusion, because Brahma was trying to find out where I'm sitting. Where is this lotus? What is Adhara? What is Adhisthana? So Krishna told, yes, there is Adhara for it. There is something which is beyond this world. There is somebody beyond this. It is me. So Krishna, when he shows himself, he's not alone. He shows the entire material world. That's why it is shown.
So how can contemplating on these verses, the description of Vaikuntha is so amazing. And even in 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gave a very slight glimpse in one shloka. In my world, there is no need for sun or moon or electricity or fire. And once gone there, you'll never come back and all that. So how can meditating on these verses increase our own longing for the spiritual world?
Why people go to UK? Why people go to America? Because they hear, oh, it's like that, it's like that. Oh, let's also go there. So when you hear about a beautiful place, then you would like to go and go to that particular place. Once, many years back, there was a yatra organized to Vrindavan. So they put the poster. They expected about 100 people to come. 5 people registered for it. So then the organizers became very depressed. Oh, Prabhuji, what would only 5 people have come? You should cancel the yatra. Then I told, don't worry, just give me one more day. So it was a Sunday. And there one Sunday program was there, and morning Bhagavatam class was there. So I gave the morning Bhagavatam class, the Sunday feast class, and evening some other youth program was there. So in all the 3 classes, I just spoke of Vrindavan, how beautiful it is. That beautiful song is a Vrindavan Ramyastan. We had 150 registrations. Why? The same people saw the poster, same people got the message, everything. But when they heard about how beautiful it is, they registered for it. As simple as that. So it's all up to you. Like one devotee, oh, who will come to the temple? It's so far away. Yeah, I will come to the temple, provided you speak about the temple, how nice it will be. Isn't it? It's as simple as that. Otherwise, why anybody should go? That's called marketing.
Yes.
Marketing you learn from Srila Prabhupada.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Maharaj, now after showing Vaikuntha to Lord Brahma, now the Lord is expressing his pleasure and he actually invites Brahma to ask for benedictions. And it's quite interesting that when the Lord is asking, please ask for benediction, in answer to that, Lord Brahma is asking several questions. In fact, he is asking 4 questions. So he could have asked for a lot of things. He could have asked for some mystical power, this, that. But however, he is asking 4 questions, which we will get into shortly. So what is the importance of the nature of Brahma where he is asking these questions?
When Brahma saw Krishna, he was very happy. And Lord made him experience the spiritual bliss. So the moment he experienced the spiritual bliss, the joy of seeing the form of the Lord, Tad-darshanahlada pariplutantaro. Then Brahma, in that state of supreme bliss, he was so overjoyed. then he asked these questions,
Okay.
was overjoyed, because Brahma is wanting to understand the nature of the Lord, by which Lord is going to speak about his nature. The whole world will be benefited. Otherwise, Brahma, why he should ask all these questions? He did not ask these questions just to find out what exactly it is. He already had the experience. Once you have darshan of Krishna, everything is known. So why he has to ask questions and all these things? Because he wants to experience and make others experience the bliss what he's experiencing. That's the reason.
Okay. So Maharaj will get into the questions, and then after that the Chatushloki Bhagavatam. So Brahma is asking question 1, please tell me about your material and spiritual forms. And then he is also saying, how are the different energies of the Lord working? So he's interested in knowing about the material and spiritual energies of the Lord as well. And then how does the Lord carry out his pastimes in relation to his energies? And then finally, very, very interesting, please give guidance to carry out my service of creation without pride and bondage. So Maharaj, you always talk about these three things, right? Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. Anything that you hear from the scriptures, you can put them under these three. So these questions also, how can we classify under this Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana?
Yeah. So forms of the Lord is Sambandha, because you have Bhagavan Sambandha. Our relationship with only Krishna. And what kind of relationship we have with Krishna, that is different from each and every living entity. Every living entity has a unique relationship with Krishna.
Okay.
And based on the relationship with Krishna, the devotee has a particular kind of bhava. And based on that bhava, Krishna has a particular form. And the forms of Krishna are of two basic categories. Forms of Krishna, which is in connection with the Chit Shakti, spiritual potency, that is Rama, Narasimha, Vamana, etc., etc. And the forms of Krishna in connection with the material world. That is the three Vishnus and also the universal form, the Lord, the material universal form. So in this way, by understanding the forms of Krishna, you understand your sambandha with Krishna. Okay. So that is called sambandha jnana. So then comes the abhideya, the process. That is how Krishna, what kind of energies Krishna has. So what are the categories of energies of Krishna? That is Tatastha Shakti, Jiva Shakti, etc., etc. Now, how Krishna deals with that energy? How Krishna deals with that is actually, in one sense, prayojana. And ultimately, you have the third thing, that is your how to attain Krishna. So it has both sadhana bhakti and prema bhakti also. Okay. In this way, sambandha, abhideya, prayojana are interestingly presented. First verse is sambandha. Second and third verse has both abhideya and prayojana together. Okay. That's how it is.
So prema bhakti part is the prayojana part, sadhana
prayojana
bhakti
part is abhideya part.
Okay, great. So Maharaj, now next I'll just quote Shlokas 33 to 36. I'll just chant the Shlokas, the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, then I'll just hand it over to you, and whatever you can enlighten us on these four verses, that will be amazing. So Shloka number 33. Aham mevasamevagre nanyad yatsad asatparam paschad aham yadetaccha yo vashishyeta somyaham so somyaham. Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation when there was nothing but myself, nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead, and after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. And next, shloka number 34. Pritirtham yat pratiyet na pritiyet न प्रतीयेत चात्मनि तद्विद्यादात्मनो मायाम yata bhaso yata tamaha. O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. Shloka number 35. यथा महान्ति भूतानि भूतेषु चावचेष्वनु प्रविष्टानि अप्रविष्टानि तथा तेषु न तेष्वहम्. O Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created and at the same time I am outside of everything. And then the last, that is the fourth verse. एतावद् एव जिज्ञासं तत्त्वजिज्ञासुनात्मनः अन्वयाव्यतिरेकाभ्यां यत् स्यात् सर्वत्र सर्वदा. A person who is searching after the supreme personality, supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, most certainly search for it up to this in all circumstances, in all space and time, and both directly and indirectly. So I'll just hand it over to you, Maharaj, whatever you want to enlighten us.
So the Chatushloki Bhagavatam is very mystical. They are presented in such a way there can be interpretations. So Krishna, he very interestingly, he spoke the 31st verse, where he said that Jnanam param guhyam me yad vijnanam smanvitam sarahasyam tadangam cha grihana gaditam maya. So Brahma had asked these 4 questions about the Lord's spiritual form and material form, which he is going to describe in the 33rd verse, which is the first verse of the Chatushloki Bhagavatam. Then Brahma had asked about the energies of the Lord, that is Yogamaya and Mahamaya. Then that is described in the second verse of Chatushloki, 34th verse. And Brahma had asked about how he would deal with these 2 Mayas, that is described in the 3rd verse of Chatushloki. And the 4th verse talks about what is the goal ultimately, what is the Prayojana Tattva. That is the 4th verse of Chatushloki. But when he spoke these 4 verses, Krishna, he spoke these 4 verses very indirectly. It's not very direct. The answers were not very direct. There are many reasons for it. Couple of reasons is that the knowledge, which is very guhya, so to keep that knowledge of prema bhakti, prema, very confidential, he spoke in an indirect way. That is first thing, so that the asura mohanas, asuras will not get into the real understanding of the prema tattva. Number 2 is, it is the nature of prema that you explain everything or express in an indirect way. Like in the old movies, you had the hero and would talk to heroine. Of course, he is appreciating her, but he would not look at her and say, "Your moon is so beautiful, isn't it?" Actually, he is actually talking about her beauty, but not directly. That is how that is the nature of rasa. So in this way, these 4 verses, they have rasa, but it has to be extracted by chewing it. Like you have sugar cane, you had to chew it, then only you can experience the taste, the sweetness of sugar cane. Same way, when you chew these verses, that is how you experience the sweetness within these verses. Otherwise, if I had sugar cane, what is this? There's nothing there. If you put in the mouth, it's bitter, and you throw it off. So this is how these 4 verses are expressed. But at the same time, not to give any confusions, not to lead to any confusions in these 4 verses. Krishna, he spoke the 32nd verse. In the 32nd verse, Krishna, he tells Brahma that yavan aham yatha bhavo yadrupaha guna karmakaha tattaiva tattvijnanam astu te madanugrahat. Because of my mercy, when you hear these 4 verses, you will understand, you will have the realization of my dimensions, my intentions, my form, my qualities and my pastimes.
Mm.
Now, if you see these 4 verses, Yeta Dev Jigyasan, Ahameva Samivagre, Nani Sadat Param, Paschadam Yo Vishishita, Sahasmi Aham. So this verse clearly says, I was there before the creation, I am there during the creation, I am there after the creation.
Mm.
So what it is to do with the forms of the Lord? So you have to understand this verse based on what? Based on the 32nd verse. So all the verses, all the 4 verses, they should be understood based on the 32nd verse. That means you should understand from the Vaishnava philosophy point of view, where the Lord has a dimension, but it is spiritual dimension. And yad bhavaha, the Lord has intention, so he has a desire, he is a person. And Lord has yad rupa, he has various forms. He's not just some impersonal, he has got various forms like Rama, Narsimha, etc. And yad rupaha gunakarmakaha, he has got lot of qualities, transcendent qualities, and he has lot of he does lot of leelas. So that shows that these 4 verses which are described, which are known as Chatushloki, should be interpreted or should be understood based on the 32nd verse. These verses should not be discussed independent of the 32nd verse. So that's the basic thing. Okay, let us get into the verse in summary, because there's a long, elaborate things which can be discussed, but in a simple way. The 33rd verse, which is the first verse of the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, says, Ameva sameva agre nanyad sadasat param paschadaham yo etacha yo avashishyeta sa asmiham. So, ahameva sameva agre. What is the meaning of agre? Before creation, I was there. Ahameva sameva agre. Then evagre nanyat sadasat param. Sadasat param. What is the meaning of sadasat? Sadasat means the cause and effect, this material world. And that form which I was there in before the creation, it was spiritual. And paschadaham, after creation, I existed. Aham etacha, and after the destruction, I alone remained. So now the Lord has the spiritual form, because at the time material world was not created, the Lord had a form. So I existed means what? I alone existed. Somebody may say nothing else was there other than the Lord. No, he existed along with all his entourage. That means he was along with many of his associates. The Lord is not just alone. Asan eva, that means I have done many, I have not only forms, I did so many activities. So it shows the spiritual form of the Lord. So then comes after creation. Somebody may say, now the Lord is not there, he cannot be seen. No, he is there. How is he there? In the form of this world. Yet etacha. That is the material form of the world. So this whole world is actually the material form of the Lord. And now somebody may say, now how can the Lord who is spiritual has material form? Yes, it is his potency. So you can see Krishna in the form of his potency when you see this chair, if you see the mobile. So you can still perceive Krishna in the same. So now, since the Lord has become the world and the Lord is not there, no, he's still there. Even while the creation is happening, he's still there having a spiritual form. But this world is the material form of the Lord. And ultimately, avashishyeta, who is left alone? It is me alone who is left. Yo avashishyeta, that means this world is a material form, and I am alone the Supreme Lord, expressed by the words Yo avashishyeta. Means I am Shesha. this world is destroyed. And who is left over? I am the only person who is left over. So in this way, the first verse talks about the forms of the Lord, material form and spiritual form. This world itself is the material form. Now comes Tetartam Pratiyatna Pratyachatmani Tam Vidyadatmano Maya Methabhasu Tatatamaha. So this verse talks about the two potencies of the Lord.
Okay.
That is the material energy of the Lord. Other is the spiritual energy of Lord. So what is this Maya? Maya is nothing but your perception of an object not in connection with Krishna. Rityetartham. So Maya is not in the object. Maya is in your perception. From Krishna's point of view, everything is spiritual. So this material world, when you see it as having no connection with the Lord, that is called Maya. But the same thing, when the spiritual point of pure devotee, it is not Mahamaya, it is Yogamaya. So one energy, it acts in two ways. So there are two energies. Actually, it is one energy in two forms. One is called Mahamaya, one is called Yogamaya, which is the spiritual energy of the Lord. And other is one is called the Yogamaya. Like Kamsa, when he put Vasudeva and Devaki in jail. So then Krishna appeared, and all of a sudden doors opened. Kamsa's jailkeepers were sleeping, and Krishna took all the way this baby to Gokul, and there Yashoda was also sleeping. So Yashoda also did not know that Vasudeva came, kept this baby, and took the baby girl. And here those Kamsa's Dwarapals, or those are the soldiers of Kamsa, they were also sleeping. But is it the same? No. Yashoda was sleeping because of the influence of Yogamaya. Here these people were sleeping on the influence of Mahamaya. So this is how there are two Mayas, and the influence is different. The conditioned soul also doesn't accept Krishna as a God, as the Supreme Lord, because he's bewildered by Mahamaya. And Yashoda is also not accepting Krishna as Supreme Lord. So is it the same? Yashoda, yes, cannot. Krishna tried to prove I am God. But still Yashoda say, you are not God. You are my, how can you be God? God doesn't any other work. You are my son. So the illusion of Yashoda is by Yogamaya to experience rasa. The illusions of the conditioned soul to forget Krishna, that is not influence of Yogamaya, but it is the influence of Mahamaya, which makes them suffer. So this is how this verse talks about the difference between Yogamaya and Mahamaya. So after describing about Yogamaya and Mahamaya, the Lord talks about how he performs his pastimes with both Yogamaya and Mahamaya. Yata mahanti bhutani bhutesha ucheshvanu pravishtani tatateshu nateshvaham. So this talks about how the Lord creates this world. How does he create this world? He enters this world, at the same time he is not entering this world. That is called achintya bhedave tattva. The Lord becomes this world, at the same time is beyond this world. How does he do? Because of his energy. Which energy? Mahamaya. Because of his Mahamaya, he creates this world. He enters this world. At the same time, he is not affected by this world. Now, at the same time, this verse also refers to how Krishna, he maintains his pastimes in the spiritual world. How he deals with the Yogamaya, which is talking about the spiritual world. Like, for example, the fragrance, the beauty, the fragrance of the flower, it is entering, the air carries it, but at the same time, air is different from it. So in the same way, Krishna, he has no attachment to this world in spite of he creating this world. There in the spiritual world, he has attachment to the spiritual world. He is attachment, he is very much attached there. This is how the distinction between the pravishtani and pravishtani. So he is the master of Maya. At the same time, he is very much attached to Maya. And in the spiritual world. Here in the material world, he creates this world, he enters this world, at the same time he is detached from it. So the same words can be interpreted in two ways. One, to explain how Krishna deals with the material world and how Krishna deals with the spiritual world. Either with the material world, he creates, at the same time, he is without attachment. In the spiritual world, he has attachment for the spiritual existence. In this way, this particular verse is explained. Now comes to the 36th verse, the last verse, which talks about bhakti. Yetavadeva jigyasa. When you say jigyasa, it may refer to jnana, but it is hidden. How it is hidden? There is a verse or the mantra in the Upanishad which says tadvijnanartham sagurum eva vigachet. One has to approach a spiritual master to get vijnana. But how etavadeva jigyasam? This jigyasa may think I approach a guru, get jnana. But the word jigyasa here refers to inquiring about the bhakti, how I should progress in bhakti. The first anga of bhakti is to approach a guru. That is, you tadvidhi pranipadena pariprashnena adu gurupadashraya. So what is being spoken here is actually bhakti, the angas of bhakti. Etavadi jigyasam tattva jigyasanaatmanah अन्वय व्यतिरेकाभ्याम sarvatra sarvada. So bhakti is done in two ways. One is the rules and regulations. Something to be done and something not to be done. So you have to inquire about this. And anvaya వ్యతిరేకాభ్యాం etavadeva jigyasyam tattva jigyasanaatva anvaya వ్యతిరేక. Yasyat sarvatra sarvada. This bhakti is so wonderful, which can be performed sarvada, always. That is, Krishna says you can chant always. That is where second verse of Shikshashtakam, where Krishna says that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is it verse?
Nam Namnakari Bahuda.
Nam Namakari Bahudari Sarvashakti Satratita Nimeta Smarane na Kalaha. That means there is no question of any restriction of time, place, and circumstance. Anybody can do, everybody can do, whenever they want, they can do, in all phases of time they can do, in all circumstances. Sarvatra, sarvada. This is talking about the sadhana bhakti. But the same verse talks about prema bhakti. To give you how this verse can be understood as prema bhakti, etavadi jigyasam tattva jigyasunatmana anvaya vyatirekyam. Prema is anvaya vyatirekabhyam. Directly and indirectly, that becomes one in direct contact with Krishna, that is union. Vyatirekabhyam, indirectly, that is in separation from Krishna. So prema bhakti is described. So it's not so just easy to just explain the four verses in just few minutes. But just to give a glimpse of these four verses, it is talking about all the tattvas, sambandha, abhidheya, and prayojana, very indirectly. As I've told, you need to have a crusher to extract the juice, or at least you should have strong teeth to extract the juice and relish the juice of the sugar cane. In the same way, you need to have study the commentaries of acharyas and contemplate, meditate on it, and read again and again to extract the juice of these four verses.
Oh, brilliant, Maharaj. It was quite deep and profound. I'll have to listen to this at least a dozen times or more, actually. and then go deeper. Thank you, Maharaj, so much. So, Maharaj, to wrap it up, so later we see that this Chatushloki was further expanded in Parampara. So, there are these few shlokas I'll just quote. So, Tasma idam bhagavatam puranam dashalakshanam proktam bhagavata praha pritah putraya bhutakrit. Thereupon, the supplementary Vedic literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, which was described by the personality of Godhead and which contains 10 characteristics, was told with satisfaction by the father, that is Brahma, to his son Narada. And then in succession, O king, the great sage Narada instructed Srimad Bhagavatam unto the unlimitedly powerful Vyasadeva, who meditated in devotional service upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, on the bank of the river Saraswati. And then the last shloka. O king, your questions as to how the universe became manifested from the gigantic form of the personality of Godhead, as well as other questions, I shall answer in detail by explanation of the 4 verses already mentioned. So, how is this Chatushloki being expanded, Maharaj? The 4 shlokas expanded, coming from one to the other in Parampara?
So Krishna spoke 4 verses to Brahma, and Brahma, he took those 4 verses and explained to Narada in the second canto, 5th, 6th, and 7th chapter. And same thing, Narada took it to and explained to Vyasa in the first canto, 5th and the 6th chapter. So this is how the parampara was further. So especially the Narada Samvad, what all these things are spoken, it is very explicit. Based on which Vyasa, he expands into the entire Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay.
So that's how the parampara continues. And Vyasa gave to Madhva, Madhva gives to his disciples. In this way, we receive this through the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, this knowledge, this Bhagavatam, in the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
So, Maharaj, very nicely, you have already told us several times that how Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. So, Bhagavatam is a living thing. It's not just a book. It's not just black ink on white paper. So, it also expands and compresses, depends on different lokas, different consciousness of the people.
Yes, definitely. There is a Bhagavatam which Maharaj has. It's got 1 billion verses.
Wow.
In the Sarga Loka, there Bhagavatam which has got more verses. So Bhagavatam is what is available for us, for Manushas, is 18,000 verses, which is known as Bhagavatam.
Okay.
But Bhagavatam is, Krishna is unlimited and Bhagavatam is also unlimited.
Right.
Even though you may say, oh, Brahma, Yamaraj has the biggest Bhagavatam, or Swarga, there are bigger Bhagavatams. Maybe we have only small Bhagavatam. Even that small is also unlimited. Whatever is there is 4 verses is not 4, it is unlimited. But unlimited expressed in 4 verses, unlimited expressed in by Brahma in 3 chapters, unlimited thing expressed by Narada to Vyasa. And this way, 18,000 or 4 or 1 or 2, it doesn't matter. It's all unlimited. Because it's absolute. It can manifest in 4 verses. It can manifest in just 1 sound. It can manifest in millions of verses.
Mind-blowing. So, Maharaj, for my own this thing, I'm just curious of the many things that I admire in you. One of the things, especially today also I was seeing, at my tiny, teeny level of understanding, I ask certain questions, but you are such a Saragrahi, you will take one section and you'll say, okay, the essence, what is being here? So, what is that ability? How are you able to catch that essence of the particular section or that shloka? You'll go straight into that.
Because Bhagavatam is there. Wow, that is what it is. I have no mental speculation. Bhagavad as it is, Bhagavatam as it is.
So someone like me or devotees like us who are sadhakas who want to get better experience.
Experience.
Okay.
Just a question of experience.
Okay.
The more experience you have, the more you do that. That's right.
Thanks, Maharaj. So Maharaj will end the session with a quick Brahmastra. So Maharaj, today's Brahmastra is going to be very easy for you. So it's going to be called Name a Devotee. But this devotee cannot be from the pages of the scriptures. No Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam. And these devotees, although our acharyas are living, but still we are not going to take their names. So these devotees must be like either your seniors or your contemporaries, your peers or your juniors or anybody like that. So basically, I'm going to list some divine qualities mentioned by Krishna and Bhagavatam, Kapila Dev, what he says and all that. So I'll just give a dozen devotional qualities. For as soon as I mention a devotional quality, which devotee that you know comes to your mind who exemplifies that particular devotional quality? So you have to name that devotee. So to begin with, let's talk about titikshaswa, tolerance.
His name is Srila Gopal Krishna Maharaj.
But they have to be like there in the physical realm right now.
Oh. The devotees in my temple management council in Meera
Okay.
Road.
Okay. Who are they tolerating?
Me.
Okay. What about humility?
Humility.
Which devotee you know exemplifies humility?
My sannyas guru is
Oh,
very,
Vedavyasa
very,
Priya
very,
Swami.
very Prasad Maharaj.
Jai. Okay. What about santushtaha? Somebody who's always satisfied.
Always satisfied. Very difficult to find because devotees, they are not satisfied with what they are doing. They want to do more.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Yes.
Very difficult to find satisfied devotees in ISKCON. I mean to say materially,
Yeah.
materially satisfied.
Mm.
We have one devotee, Madan going through, is in charge. He's satisfied with what he had. Very rare it happens that one who is in a very big position, earning a lot of money, has such power, such influence, such intelligence, to say, okay, that's enough now. I'm satisfied with what I have. To tell and then execute it, not just tell, to really work on it.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Being a
What about
grahastha,
yes.
being a grahastha, if you're just not married and okay, we give up something and then it's to do that.
Yes, yes, wonderful. What about abhayam, fearless?
Amogli Prabhu is fearless.
Definitely. Yeah, I totally agree.
I cannot imagine speaking.
Yes.
I
Totally.
do speak, but not in a public platform.
Yes.
Privately,
Yes.
I speak or without any fear.
Yes.
But he goes all out.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Very nice. Next, dhanam, charity, generosity.
Generosity. I cannot define because whomever I ask, they don't give the amount of money which I want.
You're not santushtaha.
I'm not able to recollect anybody for
Maharaj,
this.
in a recent lecture you gave, Maharaj, in Hyderabad, oh my God, what a lecture you gave. In that, you mentioned one devotee in ISKCON Meera Road temple construction. He took a loan and gave 35,000 rupees.
Yes, yes.
I was very much touched by it.
Yeah, like that devotees are there, definitely.
You told him it was more than 35 crores.
Yes.
Very inspiring. Next, Karuna, Maharaj, compassion.
My friend, His Holiness Bhakti Karunamai Manamali Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj gave a very apt name to him. He's very, very compassionate. I always used to tell him he's Lord Shiva of our temple.
Wow.
Because anybody is rejected, they take shelter.
Nice. What about non-enviousness, adveshta?
Adveshta, many devotees, not just one or two, many devotees. Especially his Grace Radhesham Prabhu, very highest level of sadhu, appreciates everyone, no competition, helps everyone. No, not an iota of enviousness.
Okay. Gentle.
His name is Bhakti Swami Maharaj.
Okay.
He is a perfect sadhu. The way he talks, the way he receives. Very, very gentle. Very gentle.
Wonderful. What about Swadhyaya? Somebody who really relishes studying scripture, somebody you know.
Swadhyaya. Yeah, the brahmachari from Delhi Dwaraka, he is good in studying. He really relishes
Okay.
our. There are many, but Gopinath, Shanta Gopinath, he is very, very studious, learned. He wants to learn. That's good Swadhyaya.
He'll be thrilled that you took his name. Very nice. Next, Dhritihi, somebody who is very determined.
Very determined. I would like to take the name of His Grace Gaurang Prabhu.
Okay.
Because the kind of work what he's doing, it requires a lot of determination. It's not easy. Trying to connect the Indian leaders and bring a synergy of the Indian leadership and the GBC. It's every time it is a failure, but he's very determined about it.
Nice, nice. Very inspiring. What about Vairagya, Maharaj? Detachment.
Again, I would like to talk about His Holiness Bhakti Karunamai Manamani Swami Maharaj.
Okay.
He is a Babaji, Param Vairagi.
Okay. 2 times in a row. We have to send it to him.
Yeah, because I know him the best because we lived for 25 years together.
Oh, okay. Okay. Very nice. Last one, Maharaj, Bhakti Nishta, somebody who's a staunch devotee.
I'd like to mention one of the leaders of ISKCON. He's not that kind of well known, but the kind of service he does is unimaginable. Our Delhi Temple President.
Who is he, Maharaj?
Mohan Rup Prabhu.
Okay. Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. Thank you so much, Maharaj. In spite of being so busy, I mean, you're taking out time early in the morning, 6:30 a.m., sitting down and doing the recording. I don't know how to even thank you. And such insightful answers, and especially the Chatushloki Bhagavatam in such a short time, the way you have given the exposition. Maybe another will do a separate episode sometime, just taking just those 4 shlokas and going deeper. So I can't thank you enough, Maharaj. Really indebted to you. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, there we go. We have come to the very fag end of Canto 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam. There is just one more chapter, that is 10th chapter, where we are going to talk about how Bhagavatam is the answer to all the questions and what are the 10 topics, the subject matters discussed in the entire Bhagavatam. So, we'll dive deep into that next week. So, don't go anywhere. Please do come back and please share this episode with everybody that you know so they can also relish the Chatushloki Bhagavatam and the other discussion. So, we'll catch you very soon. Until then, take care. And also, as I have mentioned, Maharaj has an exclusive WhatsApp community and he is very much active on social media platforms. The link is there below in the description. Please do join the community and get connected to Maharaj. So we will see you very soon. Until then, as always, stay inquisitive and stay Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.